You guys know there's a statue of Lenin in Seattle.
Whoa.
I did not know.
Still standing.
Makes sense.
They'll pull down Hans Christian Heg, who fought to end slavery. They'll tear down the founding fathers, but not him.
The problem with Lenin is he looked so cool, dude. Bald, just a shadow goatee, just angular.
It's kind of like the problem with socialism in general.
Yeah, it
Seems
looks
really
great.
cool.
Like Lenin is what a unique looking dude. They've modeled video game character. I mean, I think that the reason I think he looks cool is because I've seen video characters modeled after him.
16-foot tall statue of Lenin in Seattle.
What a guy.
16 foot.
Yeah.
They even had to exaggerate that.
Was he like?
It's not really 16
In Fremont. I lived in Fremont briefly.
I don't even know if we should
So
even
we would,
start down the Lenin
we
road
would
right
see that
now.
one.
No, he killed. No, we shouldn't. We definitely shouldn't. Lenin is like Marxism. Leninism is the idea that has like led to all sorts of killing. So Lenin's perspective was socialism. Lenin was like, Marx is wrong. Socialism will not just happen, right? The idea was you had feudalism, then you had capitalism, and then once capitalism made enough product and stuff, then you would have socialism and it would just happen, right? And then after once you had socialism, then the people would start realizing that socialism works, and then that the government itself is redundant because people are doing the things that need to be done, not the government. And then was that
Sorry.
yeah?
Apparently it's for sale.
What
and the statue.
I'll get it.
And in 1996, they wanted $150,000 for it, right? Which would the equivalent today would be $280,000 for it. What say we buy it and then destroy it?
I so badly want to do this. I love this.
I want to leave it. I mean, it's a historical
No.
artifact. Just stick it somewhere.
That is a fair point. I'm not.
Fine, I'll pee on it. I'll pee.
Yeah,
Come
let's
on, let me
pee
pee
on
on
it.
it.
I'm into that.
I think you need to do
Dude,
more than just be.
You know what I would love
You
to
should
do?
paint it. Make it look like him in real life or
No,
something.
put like a clown face on it.
Yeah, it'd be crazy.
Buy
Oh my
it,
God, you should
different
put it in the
wigs
front
and
of the
stuff
property.
on
It would
them.
be
buy
great.
it and half bury it at Freedomistan.
Oh, it's just head sticking out.
But charge people money to defile it.
You can walk by and
Yes.
just smack it with a shoe
Throw
for a
eggs,
buck.
chicken eggs at it.
We could put
That's
it in
kinda
a
waste
shooting
of food.
range, and you could pay money.
Dude, you should hold on
To
to
come
it.
in.
Like any good statue.
Do you think they'd sell it to me if I told them like my intention is to bring it to a shooting range?
We should
and let
stop
people-
talking about this right now. After show only.
We just want to repaint it like the Statue of Liberty.
I got a question for you guys about
Polish
the
it.
president. Do you think, because I was thinking last night, man, a lot of the people that watch this show enjoy Donald Trump, so I don't want to be too much of a dig on him, but last night I was like, I feel like voting for Trump right now is like the lazy man's vote. It's just like, go in there and just do it. I don't even know. But like Vivek is the intellectual, it's the challenging route because he actually has a plan. You have to think about it and actually learn things to understand how to manipulate our government properly.
Vivek was talking about the stuff with InfoWars and stuff like that. So another good thing about Vivek is he's talking about these kind of things that other politicians don't seem to be talking. Sorry to cut you off,
Super
but I agree.
complicated stuff
Yeah.
too. Like it takes hours to listen to it and then you might have a piece of it, but like that's the challenge.
I want to throw out there that Vivek also said that he would pardon Ross day one.
Ross Ulbricht.
Ross Ulbricht, Silk Road, and I think that is, for me, that's a number one reason to vote for him. I do like what he's doing. I do like that he's going to these shows and being real. Which politician in America is real? And I think Vivek is. He's coming to all these shows and doing the work. It's real easy to get a quick soundbite and just, something that your manager gave you and like, blah, blah, blah. I think everybody should have this. And then he's actually there explaining things. He's also talking about cutting, lots of government agencies. And I love that part.
Yeah.
Huh?
Should we launch a Give Send Go for the purpose of purchasing the Lenin statue?
Please,
for
can
recovering
we?
the statue. We must recover it from the capitalist oppressors that have colonized his likeness.
They're selling it for money is really hilarious, by the way. It's like, we made it and we're going to sell it to you for a lot of money. I mean, 6 figures. This is no joke. You could buy a house for that money.
I don't know.
next
I
time we
mean,
go to
that's a
the-
lot of money for a big pile of.
But I got to tell you,
Rock and stone.
hear me out. I'm fairly confident that if I bought this and then brought it to a big piece of rural land and said, for $5, you can defile it in any way you want.
Take my money.
Oh, I'd make so much money.
Take my money, all of it. Just let me, please.
We would
This
have
one's
like,
for me, and this one's for my dad, and this one's for
There would be Floridian pilgrimages of people being like,
Why don't we just put it in Florida? Let's put it in the capital of Latin America, Miami, and let's just let the people that have had to flee their countries in recent times take care of it for you.
I like
Take
that
care
too.
of it.
If it was a
Take
bald,
care of it.
If it was the bald statue of Lenin, I'd be into it, but he's got a hat on. And I
It
don't,
would-
I don't have a lot of respect for bald guys that wear hats.
We can get rid of that hat.
There's what is the nonprofit, the Victims of Communism?
Victims of communism.
It would be cool to like buy it and donate it to them and say like, do with it what you will.
I love this.
Make it special.
Well, I think you should definitely do it. Give, send, go, and see if people will donate to do it.
Get people to,
you know.
If I were to do a give, send, go, it would be like it would have to be to give it to the Victims of Communism memorial or whatever. So I would reach out to a
How about you use
anti-communist.
it to stop current communism, or at least educate people on the current communism, because communism isn't over.
But when
We've got an island 90 miles from our shores that is full on communist.
It's adapting to the monetary
Well,
systems
what I'm
too.
saying
Like,
is-
Chinese communism isn't real. It's not communism.
Cuban communism is real communism.
What I'm saying is I would not crowdfund to buy this to personally own. If we do a crowdfund, it's so that an anti-communist organization can get ownership of it. Like I'm saying, like I don't like the idea we do a give, send, go. Everyone gives money, which effectively gives me. I don't want the statue. Like if I was going to buy the statue on my own, I'd buy it on my own, and I'd charge admission for people to defile it because that's hilarious. Turning him into a capitalist spectacle for capitalists to make money off of is just it's icing on the cake.
I love it.
So it's a possibility. The first question is, will they actually sell it to someone they know is going to defile it? But I think they legitimately would sell it to the Victims of Communism or some nonprofit. But it's also a question too: would like a nonprofit like the Victims of Communism want to be involved in something so crude? Would that be besmirching the memory of those who are killed by these monsters?
No,
Yeah.
this was created in Czechoslovakia during the Soviet Union's reign in 1988. And then after the dissolution of the USSR, it was brought to America in 1993. So I don't think this has anything to do with people that loved communism. This is people that fled the Soviet Union.
Who
at
made
least-
it?
It was made by a Bulgarian-born Slovak sculptor named Emil Venkov. I don't know what his communist ties were.
I'm just, it would be hilarious to see what Antifa would do if we're like, it's ours now.
They'd be very confused. It's made of bronze. Maybe we could polish it.
I think I have to buy it.
Dude, it's
I think
giant.
what
Vladimir
am I
Lenin, dude.
alive for if not to buy the statue of Lenin?
I love this.
So
You,
that
dude.
we can topple it, have Phil Labonte stand on top of it.
He on it.
He's got like a thing behind him you can sit on. Maybe you can set up a drum kit back there or something.
I'm going to pursue this because you just think like I look at the great works. I look at the I play Civilization, right? And in Civilization, every so often you get great figures. So it's like you'll get a little dude, and he'll be called like musician, and then you can place him somewhere, and he makes culture. But every so often you'll get like like Beethoven appears, and he's a guy you can go and then create a great work, and the great work creates cultural influence. And I think about where are we today? Where's all of the significant cultural stuff that matters to people of this generation? I saw a meme, and it's a bunch of cassette tapes, and it said all of these albums came out within like 4 months of each
yeah,
other. And it's like,
1991.
yes,
yeah, it's-
everything awesome.
right.
Use
it's
Your
Pearl
Illusion
Jam,
1 and 2.
Pearl Jam, Nirvana, Nevermind. It's like some type of pilots.
Bad Motorfinger, Soundgarden.
That was a
good year, dude.
It's crazy. And so I'm thinking today, what have we done this year? What has anyone done where it's like, we're going to remember that crazy thing?
Oliver Anthony, I'll say.
For sure.
That shit's
I'm not saying nothing's been done. I'm just saying like, think about the things that we should create to create that memory and that cultural waypoint, as it were. So I kind of feel like, Phil Labonte standing on the ruin of a shattered Lenin statue singing in mockery of communism
Make a shirt.
is one of those things to be done.
Light it from underneath. That's going to look wild. Oh, yeah, put some lights underneath the thing. It's like free with like a ladder on the back or steps on the back so you can climb up onto it real easy.
Timcast anti-commie
Ride his
shirt.
shoulders.
Like I don't like the destruction of statues, Confederate or otherwise, and part of like the burning of the Library of Alexandria is a horror story to me. Like, if someone's like, you want to hear a horror story, you tell me about ghosts and demons, I'm like, oh, that's cool. But you tell me about the burning of the Library of Alexandria, and I'm like, and I'm like, I'm hiding, like, no, the knowledge. Yeah. So, destroying the statue for no reason, just like toppling it, is stupid. But doing something cultural and artistic with it is important.
You know, one of the things I like about that Civilization reference, you're talking about great people. When your society produces a great person, Beethoven, Steve Jobs, whoever. When you get multiple great people all produced at the same time in history, they can come together to create a golden age. And that's what's happened with the internet. We're in a golden age. We're in a time of immense crisis, but we're in a golden age while we're suffering the crisis. So it's that much easier. we've got to use it while we have it, because it's,
Maybe-
every age comes to an end.
Maybe we write a song and then we can use it in the music video. Like, I'm thinking, like, can we create an artistic work that represents, we deride and explain how bad communism is. And there's a message that I think people often say that doesn't get enough attention. It doesn't permeate enough. And it's that the communists were infinitely worse, or I shouldn't say infinitely, but were substantially worse in many ways than the Nazis. Mm-hmm. The Nazis committed probably one of the most evil atrocities, but the communists had this long, drawn out 70 years or longer, 100 years, even still to this day, with what China has done to the Uyghur Muslims. It's just this endless history of hundreds of millions of dead. The Holodomor happened before the Holocaust, right? And these things are horrifying and evil. So at least saying, guys, we get it. We hate Nazis. But can we also add communism into the list of evil people? I don't
understand how we don't have communism. I mean, I don't know, depending on whatever number you want to use for how many people perished under Nazism. But communism, that number is so much more. Maybe 200 million people. I mean, it's just so big.
Oh my God. Dylan Butter says, buy the statue, put a chicken bridge over it.
Yeah.
And play Lenin getting crapped on live.
Oh,
Chicken
yeah.
City. That's a really good idea.
Love it.
Just him half out of the ground.
Dude,
and
the
chickens
Lenin
poop.
statue
Those
in
poor
Chicken
chickens.
City would be the best thing ever.
Those poor chickens just having to deal with this thing.
No, the chickens we would
They'd
put the perch right
on
above
it, yeah.
where they sleep, and they just
it.
crap in their sleep, and it plops right onto Lenin.
A Lenin
forever.
statue in Chicken City. Love it.
Oh, perfect.
I'll take a look at it. To be completely honest, I mean, it's not like I just have $300,000 to buy a statue of Lenin with.
Because you got to ship it too. It's
right,
massive.
and shipping that's going to be hefty.
How much is this? How much
That's
is
going to
it
be a
weigh?
serious cost to ship.
You get a bunch of people that do a road trip. You go pick it up. And put
That's
it on a
why.
flatbed.
That's why I'm like, I really do think we could muster up a crowdfund between. It's not just about what this show can do, but if I reached out to a bunch of other personalities and said, guys, let's promote this and get a nonprofit to buy the statue and then do something critical of communism with it, we'd raise that money overnight.
I agree. And I love that idea. I think that there is communism still today, and a lot of people just don't know what it is, don't know how miserable it is, don't understand the crisis. Again, going back to Miami, over 1 million people who have fled communist regimes live in Miami today. And so, if you got to live it, or talk to people who've lived it, or do something like this, buy a statue and make sure people know what's going on.
Is the reason it fails and just always has failed is because it sounds great, everyone's going to get enough, and then it gets to the point where you have so many people, we don't have enough resources now, everyone can't have enough.
It fails because human beings are not geared to be socialist.
Well, in small groups we are, in a family unit.
But that's fine.
Your desire to give to your children, to give to your wife, to give to the people that you love. Now, what desire do you have? If I tell you, hey, I really need some money and I want it because I want it. What drives you to go make that money for me?
If you were my neighbor and you were like, I want some money because I'm going to plant some corn, I could see
But Ian, you're talking about you're talking about a concept that has to be at least national, right? So you're talking about millions of people, and things work differently at different resolutions, right?
Yeah.
So the way that a family works. There's only 4 or 5, 6, whatever, 10 in your immediate family. Communism's fine for that, because the people that you're supporting need you to take care of them. Children can't go out and support themselves and take care of themselves. That works. But once you get to your neighborhood, you can't have a communist neighborhood. You might have some kind of, you can have social programs or social get-togethers and your neighbors can help each other, but it can't be just hey, Joe makes $100,000 and Bill makes 30, so we're going to take, Joe's money and give some of it to Bill and stuff. And that's the way that it ends up working out. That ends up creating animosity. It ends up making mistrust. It ends up making people not feel like working. There's this idea called the tragedy of the commons, right? So if no one owns something, no one takes care of it because they don't feel like they're responsible for it. That's one of the things that property does, right? If you own something, then you feel like it is a part of you on some level, and it gives you the desire to take care of it, to make it better, to build on it. If you don't have to take care of it, what happens? Everybody pisses on the seat because you don't have to clean the toilet. Public toilets are always a mess because no one takes care of them.
like I was thinking, then does it break down in a little society because communism doesn't work after 60 people or something because there's someone in charge?
Doesn't work after one.
Right, and there's always somebody in charge because, like, when you remove the incentive to do anything because everyone's getting the same thing, then it becomes about forcing people to do something, and then people are appointed to force other people to do stuff, and then before long it just...
I mean, just think about it. If you like, what incentivizes you to do things, right? And there has to be something. Otherwise, why leave your house? Why you have to leave your house and make money because otherwise the electricity is going to be turned off. You're not going to be able to afford things. You're not going to be able to afford food. So you go out, you do your job, and you come home with your money and you pay for things. If everything was guaranteed to you, light, electricity, everything, you had it. What's going to incentivize you to leave? And go be productive and go make things and go be part of this society. It's kind of like what happened in COVID. And I think to this day, a lot of people have been talking about, like, there's something shifted in our culture a little bit where people just maybe don't necessarily want to do a job, because you were incentivized to stay home. And it's awesome. I mean, great. You get to stay home and live your life. And somebody else is going to provide for you. And it just doesn't work. Things don't just magically appear. That food at the supermarket doesn't magically just go up. It's not like somebody in the back of your supermarket, of your local supermarket, is just like, these things magically come out of something. You have to grow that food. You have to produce that food. Who's going to do that? Do you really think people want to go work the fields because they love it?
Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.